conversation of phobias and what you might be afraid of. On Friday, Stephen King's cult horror classic It will hit cinemas across the country. And the trailer looks very scary, even though the monster is just a clown. Now, bizarrely, Stephen King's inspiration for the novel wasn't about experience at the circus. He was actually spooked by the Disney film Bambi, and you've been sharing your stories of what you're afraid of. It's one that sticks to my mind. It does seem to scare an awful lot of people. Our reporter Jake Borrett took to the streets of Dunstable to find out what scares you.
My greatest fear would be losing my children. When they were little, particularly, you're always worried about making sure where they are, all that kind of stuff. So that was probably my biggest fear. Even now being sort of like nearly teenagers, you think, no, it's a different world. There's a whole new world out there.
What are you scared of?
The thunderstorms.
How come you don't like thunderstorms?
Because they're loud. I'm scared of insects and spiders and all that sort of stuff.
Same here, to be honest.
I'm scared of breaking down on the motorway, being stuck with loads of cars and trucks thundering by and just sitting on the side waiting to be recovered.
Snakes. I don't like snakes. Ghosts, I suppose. Actually, seeing them. My partner says you don't like clowns. You're on about it.
Oh,
yeah. I think if you saw one of them people dressed up, it's frightening.
Right. Basically, when I'm up there as high as I can be, I get this kind of nausea. It's like I'm going to fall down. It's like I've got no balance. I've got severe vertigo.
Odd. Do you think there'd be any way overcoming the fear at all?
Definitely skydiving.
You want to do that?
Yeah, for sure. One day, get over the fear.
It's dangerous, wasn't it? We also heard from Meredith Heather Chapman, who's one of our panellists, it seems there's a family where everyone has a fear of something.
My daughter is not scared of anything except slugs, and she can spot one a mile away and scream and literally hyperventilate, and it's ridiculous. She wants to be a vet. I've got a very close family member who is quite nervous around nuns. Just finds them a bit creepy. It's weird, isn't it? I think there are some phobias which, like my friend Emily running out on me with a clown mask, I think that absolutely terrified me. I'm also so frightened of birds, but clowns are absolutely terrifying. I mean, the whole thing with it coming out, I'm glad he was scared of Bambi.
Well, Meredith is here on Friday, but you might just come fancy dressed as a clown. That should please her. So can these fears be overcome? Because they are irrational, of course. Let's talk to Elliott Wald. Elliott is a hypnosis expert based in Luton. Elliott, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you.
Welcome to the show, Elliott. Is it ever possible to cure someone of a phobia 100%?
Well, I mean, nothing can give a 100% guarantee. I mean, that's an unethical thing to do. You know, that's like saying any operation, accident can cure it by 100%. But, you know, there's a very, very high success rate using clinical hypnosis. You know, I get around a good 95% success rate across the board with phobias.
That's amazing. So what sort of phobias do people come to you with? I mean, everyone, of course, is very different, I guess.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I get a very broad range of phobias. Normally, the pigeon phobia, the fear of flying phobia, they're very common. Motorway driving, that's a very common phobia. Right across to, I had a woman who had a fear of spherical objects. She had a fear of anything round. All of her light switches, the screws were covered. Her plates were square. Her watch was square. She wouldn't leave the house. That's quite extreme. Cotton wool, balloons.
Hang on. Balloons I've heard about, but spherical objects, everything's spherical.
Absolutely, everything's spherical. Her clock in her house was oblong. Her plates were oblong. All the screws, as I said, in the light switches were covered. She didn't have anything round.
That's a little bit unusual, isn't it, that phobia?
Well, that is an unusual phobia indeed. But listen, all phobias are irrational, but at some point, the person with the phobia knows they're irrational.
Right, well, I'm not sure if I don't like snakes. Look, I like looking at them on TV and the big nature programs in high definition surround sound. I don't mind that. But in a zoo, for example, behind a glass screen, I'll look at it, but I'm never going to touch one.
Right, but isn't that because the media portrayed snakes as this evil character and they slide along and they look a certain way?
Yeah. Well, no, not only that. I mean, how poor Adam was there and the snake enticed Eve, Adam ate the apple, and look what happened, an absolute mess.
I'll tell you what, get a huge anaconda on your radio show. I'll come on, I'll cure you of your snakes and you can put it round your neck.
No, I don't want to be cured of I want to have a healthy fear of snakes. But if I had a phobia, for example, and I mentioned that I once worked with someone who had a fear of baked beans.
Yeah.
And I can't work out how anyone can be scared of something that is so good when you
Well, listen, I had a woman who had a fear of soup, and I did this live on ITV this morning show. Her fear was so extreme, she would not walk down the aisle that sold soup in Asda.
Really?
Yeah. And she was specific to tomato soup.
Right. So tomato soup just scared her?
Just absolutely scared her to the point where she would not walk down the aisle that sold tomato soup. In fact, in 2 hours live on this morning show, I had her eating soup.
Well done you, but I mean, what would have led her to have had a fear of soup? I mean, would it be that she was once a child walking down the high street and someone threw a tin of soup at her and hit her on the head? Would that be like the cause of it?
Well, I mean, nobody's born with a phobia except the phobia of drowning. They're all learnt responses. If I were to give you an example for spiders, okay, you could grow up with a mum or a dad who has a fear of spiders, and you might see a spider and you might see their reaction to it, and they might be like, ah, there's a spider. And you go, oh, spiders are dangerous. You might learn it that way. Or you might go, there's nothing to be afraid of. And you don't learn that spider phobia. Or perhaps you hear on TV that some spiders have got into bananas in the supermarket, and you think, oh my God, I bought bananas and I've got them at home and now I might have a spider. So you can learn it in different ways. I had a client who lived in Bayswater. She drove a Mini. She drove from the underground car park up, and there was a film on at the time called Eight-Legged Spiders, and there was this billboard, and every time she drove up there was these enormous hairy legs of spiders on a billboard that confronted her, and she developed a fear of spiders.
Right, so how do you cure someone who has a phobia or a fear of spiders? The ones I've seen, they tend to just get, they get spiders, they put them on your hand, and look, there's nothing to worry about. Here's a hairy spider for you.
Well, that's the end result. The end result is holding a spider or being in the same room as a spider, depending on what your outcome that you want is. But the way that you overcome it is by changing your emotional response to a spider. So a lot of people have a fear of the way it looks. I mean, you know, think about a spider. It's got 6 legs. It's got 8 knees on each leg. That's 42 knees. It's the hair. It's the way people look at the spider. And it's the way the spider moves. But if you can change a person's the way they visualize a spider, the way they see it. For example, I did a TV show in Germany where I had people build a spider out of polystyrene, and they had big Wellington boots on it, a big red nose, and they made it look funny. So when they looked at a spider, they couldn't have a fear over it because they couldn't stop laughing at it.
Wow. So to cure a phobia, do you have to confront whatever it is that worries you?
Well, do you have to confront it? I mean, why else would you dealing with your phobia if you're never going to go and address it? I mean, it's like saying, I've got a fear of flying, but I'm never going to fly. Well, what's the point in dealing with it? I've got a fear of heights, but I'm never going to go on a multi-story of a car park, or I'm never going to go in a lift. So I think the answer is you have to confront it at some point, otherwise why deal with the phobia?
But it's part of the therapy, the treatment. If I had a fear of heights, for example, would you say, look, Rob, we have to go up different buildings, different heights, and eventually by incrementing the different heights of buildings, you understand that there is really nothing to fear. You can look over the edge of the building, and we go higher and higher, and look, it's just a pretty sight.
Well, I mean, that's one way of doing it. I mean, I did go to the Virgin Records in London, and I had a guy there who had a fear of heights, and within about 45 minutes, I took this guy with a fear of heights to look over the parapet of Virgin. In fact, it's on YouTube, you can actually watch it. Who then looked down over the Virgin building, and he looked down and there was no fear of heights. But that's because he wanted to confront it. I obviously don't have the time to take all my clients to, you know, get up on a plane with them, or to drive on the motor with them, or pick balloons up in front of them. So it's not necessarily that I'm going to help them confront their fear. I'm going to help them overcome their fear, and they're then going to go and do it when they're ready.
Right. Yeah, well, I've got a fear of balloons. I think it's because of the material, the rubbery material. Again, that's absolutely crap. I didn't tell you, but I have a really big fear, a phobia of Kylie Minogue in her hot pants. Now, can we cure that phobia by getting Kylie in?
Do you want to cure that phobia?
I'm thinking if you bring her in, 45 minutes, I'll be more than happy to have that phobia cured.
Well, maybe it might take a bit longer with Kylie.
Elliott, nice talking to you. Because people have been texting in with all sorts of weird phobia, velvet, all. If they want to get hold of you, is there something on social media they can find you?
Yeah, of course you can. You can find me on my website. It's www.hypnosis-expert.com. or put my name in, Elliott Wald, into Facebook. I've got a lot of information I put out there, or into YouTube. But yeah, no problem. Contact me and I help them get over it.
Pleasure talking. Is there anything that worries you, Elliott?
Well, only this Kylie thing you got going on.
It's good, don't worry. Elliott Wald, talk again soon. I wish you well. Elliott Wald, hypnosis expert based in Luton. I forgot to tell you about that. Yeah, a big from there.
Thanks, Elliott.
No worries. Okay.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye-bye. And that's how you do a radio interview with BBC Three Counties. I don't know what the video picks up, but it was a lot of fun. Occasionally I like to have a look at the guns. Listen, take care.